It is Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. It is mailbag time. You guys have questions that you send to me, and you're in luck because I have answers for you on all things Seahawks, and we will go ahead and get started in just one moment. Before we do, though, you may be wondering, how do I get involved in the mailbag show? Well, if you subscribe to the channel, then you're going to be a part of our live show on Wednesdays and send in your questions, and we'll react to them, whether you super chat to get to the further line or use the hashtag Seahawks. We'll make sure you're covered. Subscribe now, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. First question comes in from Andrew. Should the Seahawks draft Anthony Richardson to develop and re-sign Geno? I think that would be my dream situation. Well, Andrew, I don't mean to crush your dreams here. I haven't liked what I've seen from Anthony Richardson out of Florida at this point. To me, he has not impressed me. I would not be very excited if he is the quarterback of the future for the Seattle Seahawks. So I think there's better options, whether it be Will Levis or whether it be C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. But Anthony Richardson, I wouldn't be feeling too confident about. Sorry to crush your dreams, Andrew, but no thanks. I'll pass. Dat Fat Rat, team MVP for the Seahawks so far. Well, there's a lot of directions you could go with this one. And you look at the Seahawks team, they're winning games as a team. Geno Smith is the obvious answer on offense. For defense, it's Tariq Woolen. And you look at where this team is at without these two, man, it's been impressive to see what they've been able to do. Those would be my two answers, would be Geno Smith and Tariq Woolen for team MVP so far. Georgie writes in, should we sign a safety for depth? Maybe so. The problem, I'll say this, while the Seahawks may have a need for safety, there's not a whole lot of options out there. There's not a whole lot of good safeties on the market right now. Just earlier today, I was looking at all of the free agents out there and evaluating every position. I mean, the cupboards are bare when it comes to safeties right now. So it's a good idea in theory, but there's not a whole lot of quality options remaining at this point. Still Flying writes in, more likely, Kenneth Walker, Tariq Woolen win Rookie of the Year. So Kenneth Walker for offensive, Tariq Woolen for defensive. Tariq Woolen and Kenneth Walker have both been incredible this year. I would lean towards Kenneth Walker because he's going to get more opportunity. The Seahawks need more out of Kenneth Walker than they do Tariq Woolen necessarily. Remember, the Seahawks, they have several different players at that cornerback spot that all get good playing time. Tariq Woolen starts, obviously. But in Kenneth Walker's case, he's dependent on so much for this offense to work. I think Kenneth Walker's got a better shot, but they both very well could end up as the Rookie of the Year on either side. And it's going to be great to see this team build around both these guys for years to come. Who's your favorite rookie? Is it Kenneth Walker? Is it Tariq Woolen? Is it someone else? If Kenneth Walker is your favorite rookie, type KW. If Tariq Woolen is your favorite rookie, type TW. If it's someone else in the comment section, let me know who your personal favorite rookie is from the Seattle Seahawks team. DK writes, will DK ever be a top 5 receiver? I don't see why not. I mean, DK Metcalf this year with a new quarterback did not slow down. And we've seen him play through injuries and what he's been able to do. DK Metcalf, they don't make many like DK Metcalf. And for me, I look at the way that he's built. There hasn't been a receiver to his magnitude of his body figure and what he brings to the table athletically since probably Calvin Johnson, okay? There's still more that he needs to develop. He's still got some work to do. But, yeah, he'll be a top 5 receiver, if not a top 2 receiver in the very near future. His best football is still in front of him. Wayne writes, what position do the Hawks target in 2023 free agency? Well, I think what's going to happen first is that the Seahawks focus in on the draft. That's where their money was made last season with the 9 draft picks that they had and the priority that they made there. I believe the Seahawks have 9 draft choices again in this upcoming draft. So I think that's what they'll look to first is, building through the draft. But when it comes to what they'll target. I think whether it's veterans in the offensive or defensive line. Also, I could see the Seahawks trying to find a veteran replacement for Cody Barton. I'd be shocked, honestly, if Cody Barton is starting next year at middle linebacker. And to me, that's a spot that if you're a team like Seattle, who already is a playoff caliber team this year and wants to take that next step next year, you might not want to wait around on developing a young talent. You might want to search for what you can find in free agency for that next middle linebacker. Today's show is presented by BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, use the promo code Seahawks125, you'll get a 125% deposit bonus, and you could get a free Seahawks jersey. Yes, we're not joking about that. If you go to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code and sign up and deposit $100 and get that 125% deposit bonus, if you email us at jersey@chatsports.com, we will send you a jersey. Now, you may be saying to yourself, like, what does all this mean? Let me put this in the simplest of terms. Put $100 down, use the promo code Seahawks125, and email us, jersey@chatsports.com. You are getting the jersey. We are going to take care of you. And this is a deal that we're offering. This is not from BetUS. This is something that we're going to do in-house to take care of you. So, essentially here, folks, you're getting a jersey for $100, and you get to gamble and get free money to spend as well. So get your bets in now, chatsports.com/bet, promo code Seahawks125, and then email us at jersey@chatsports.com to get your Seahawks jersey today. Finn Ray wants to know, what do you think of Diggs this year? Maybe it's just me, but it seems a bit off with his tackles. So, Quandre Diggs was excited at the beginning of the year to play under Clint Hurt and this defensive scheme. He thought it would play to his advantage, but we haven't seen him play to his potential yet. I'll say this, I'm not worried about it, though. I still think that Quandre Diggs is going to get better with time, and he's still a great football player. You're right about that. It hasn't been what he necessarily is used to, but I wouldn't be too concerned about it because the young corners have done their part and stepped up, and that defense has gotten a lot better as a whole the last couple of weeks. Simon writes, will Laquon Treadwell make the 53-man roster at some point? So the Seahawks signed Treadwell this week to their practice squad, the former first-round pick out of Ole Miss. And Treadwell was a top target coming out. He was a big name, and a lot of people were excited about what he was going to bring to the table, but he's just been a bust. Now, it's not a risk at all putting him on your practice squad, and you hope to figure things out from there. But in Treadwell's case, as far as making the 53-man goes, he's got some work to do, and it's going to require some injuries to deal with. And I'll say this with Treadwell. If he was struggling, let's say, with the first team he was on, that'd be one thing. But he's had a couple different stops along the way and still hasn't figured it out. So, I mean, he's got an outside chance, but I'm not banking on that Treadwell is going to all of a sudden turn things around and turn into some solid receiver of some sorts. How would you grade the signing of Laquon Treadwell? It's a practice squad spot. I don't know how it can be anything lower than a B. Got to be at least an A or B. How would you grade it for me? Grade it for me in the comments section, the signing of Laquon Treadwell to the Seahawks practice squad. JB writes, #Seahawks, do you see the Seahawks going 7-3 before the bye week? So, as I'm pulling up the Seahawks schedule in real time, I think they beat Arizona this week. And then the Tampa Bay game is a toss-up game. I know that Tom Brady and the Patriots have not looked good this year, but you're still facing the greatest quarterback of all time. You're still having to go overseas. Anything can happen. I would lean towards yes. But I would think that it's no worse than 6-4. I think Seattle wins this week for sure. I don't know about that Tampa Bay game because there's so many factors of going overseas, playing Tom Brady, what Tom Brady's going to show up. I'd lean towards yes, but I wouldn't rule out. I would say 6-4 at the worst, 7-3 at the best before that bye week comes up there on that front. Sean writes in, and Sean joined the $100 Super Chat Hall of Fame Club, by the way. He got a spot in the Seahawks boot. How far do you think the Hawks will make it this season? I think they're a playoff team. I really do. I think Seattle is on their way to being a playoff team. I don't know if they win a playoff game, but I do think they will at least get one of those wild card spots when it's all said and done. I think that Seattle is in that discussion to be a playoff team and start building towards next year as well. Really good foundation going forward there, Sean. Alex writes, who is the Seahawks wide receiver 3? Well, that's a great question. Who is the wide receiver 3? I would say it's Marquise Goodwin over D. Eskridge. D has been inconsistent. Marquise Goodwin has played good since he got on the football field and really emerged the last couple of weeks. But the truth of the matter is, whether it's those two or it's someone else, there's still a ways to go. That the Seahawks, if they're going to make a playoff run, like it was asked in the last question, you got to do more than just what these two have done. They're still a work in progress. I'd say Goodwin is that guy, but if Goodwin is a legit number 3 receiver, I need to see more from Marquise Goodwin going forward. Same with D. Eskridge. Both these guys have played some good football, but they could still be better as far as I'm concerned. Pick a wide receiver. Which one do you like better? Is it D. Eskridge or is it Marquise Goodwin? If it's D. Eskridge, type DE in the comments section. If it's Marquise Goodwin, type MG. Let me know which one you like better, Eskridge or Goodwin. DE for Eskridge, MG for Marquise Goodwin. Aaron writes, what's the best moment of the Seahawks season so far? Obviously beating Russell Wilson and the Broncos was a big deal. That was a great moment. But since then, I would say for this Seahawks team, the best moment that I would point to was getting that win against the Chargers. Because after the Chiefs and Bills, the Chargers, I think everybody expected to be that number 3 team in the AFC. And they have an elite quarterback in Justin Herbert. It was a road game. You went up against some great defensive players like Khalil Mack and Bosa and company, and they shut them down. They dominated that game. So for me, besides the obvious answer, the Broncos game, I would say the Chargers game was the best moment of the season so far as I'm concerned. But great question there, Aaron. As always, you can follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Tyler Jones Live, talking about your Seahawks all the time on those social media platforms. Follow me there, and I will see you next time here on Seahawks Today.